Hey guys, happy Wednesday. Welcome to Instagram Live with me, Annie Spano, the founder of Style Collective. Style Collective is a platform for influencers to connect, grow, and learn how to be successful bloggers and influencers. So welcome to tonight's live, which is about how to win at emailing, which is very important if you're an influencer because emailing is a big part of your job. So it may not seem like a very glamorous or sexy kind of topic to talk about, but it is an important one, especially if you are pitching brand deals using email and leveraging email as the tool to do that and monetize your blog. So it's really important to get a handle on your inbox and know best practices with email. So welcome, ladies. Welcome to Instagram Live. How's everyone doing? Happy Wednesday. Is anyone going to Miami Swim Week? I'm going to be there starting Saturday, and I will be there through Tuesday. And is anyone going to be at the event on Monday night? Hope to see you there. Hey ladies. How is everyone doing? Yay! I'm waiting for a few more people to join, and I know that there's a little bit of a lag too from when I start. Awesome! Yay! Welcome to another Instagram Live. So happy to have you here. Tonight's topic is all about how to win at emailing. How to win at emailing. It's very important if you are trying to pitch brand deals and monetize your blog. You need to know these critical things so that you can be a master of your inbox and write effective emails that convert. All right, so we're going to get started. Thank you. Love the podcast. That's great. Happy to hear that. All right, we're going to get started. So email. Email is essential if you are an influencer or you own an online business. What you say in email, just like text messaging, can be misconstrued or misconveyed. You have to be very intentional with what you write in your email. So the first tip that we have is about email etiquette. You really want to watch what you say in your emails because just like the blogging community is very large, but it's also very small. People know each other, we exchange information with each other, we're friends with each other, and it can be the same way in the social media manager space as well. Other social media managers know each other, and if you send off an email that is rude or doesn't have the best message or isn't clear and can be confused and maybe interpreted the wrong way in a negative way, that social media manager could forward it to another social media manager, which would damage your brand. So you want to be really careful with what you send in email because it's not private, it's not confidential, it can be forwarded to anyone, it could be screenshotted and put up on Reddit, and it could go viral. There's a lot of really negative things that can happen if you are not careful with what you put in email. So just keep that in mind. It's not private, it can go public, it can be forwarded to other people, it could go viral, and that could be really bad for you. The other thing that you want to be mindful of with email etiquette is the times that you send your emails. So how many of us are guilty of being on our phones all the time, being on your email, and your buzzer goes off, your phone goes off, and you have to reply to the email right away, even though it's 11:30 at night and you're in bed trying to sleep? If you are guilty of this, can you send me your favorite emoji right now? So if you are guilty of always being glued to your phone, replying to emails the instant that you get them, this can be a controversial tip, but you should try your best to keep email correspondence between the hours of 9 and 5. And the reason why that is because, first of all, you're going to train people that you reply instantly. And you can train people to think the opposite. You can train people to think that you're going to read their email and you'll reply to it within 24 to 48 hours. So you have one of two options. You can train people to think that you reply instantly, or you can train people to think that, okay, you reply between the hours of 9 to 5 and you reply within 24 hours So those are the two main things. The other thing is that the other person, you have to think about the person on the receiving end. They may not want to be getting an email at 11 o'clock at night when they're clocked out, right? Or an email at 3 o'clock in the morning because you're working until 3 o'clock in the morning. And I understand that if you are staying up until 3 o'clock in the morning, I do know some bloggers do this. They stay up until 3 o'clock in the morning answering emails. You can use a tool. It's called Boomerang. We have the link in the post. And it's basically an email scheduler. And it will delay the email and send it between the set amount of hours that you pick for it. So if you're writing an email at 3 a.m., it'll put it into the queue, and then it'll mail it for you automatically a few hours later so that the person receiving the email will get it between normal business hours between 9 and 5. So that's an effective tool that you can use if you are, glued to your phone and can't stop, won't stop, right? All right, so the second tip that we have is spelling, grammar, and your tone in your emails. Again, if you're going to be working with brands, working with PR agencies, and you have an online business, your spelling, your grammar, and your tone really matter. Okay, you need to proofread everything, first of all. It only takes an extra 5 seconds to read over your email before you click the send button. The worst feeling in the world is when you click send and then you go back and you read it. How many other people have done this? I've done this when writing newsletters to thousands of people on my email list. I click send and then I reread it once I get it in my inbox, and I'm like, oh my God, there's like a typo in here. There's 2 typos in here. I can't believe that I didn't just reread it a second time or a third time to make sure that I didn't have this silly typo. Now I look stupid in front of thousands of people. They think that I don't know how to write proper English in my email, right? So it only takes a few seconds to just double check your email before you send it. You don't want to have little spelling mistakes because it does look unprofessional. Unfortunately, it does. So you want to try to prevent those as often as possible, especially if you're emailing a brand. If you're sending a cold pitch to a brand, it needs to be as professional as possible, and you need to proofread your content before you hit send, because if a brand receives a cold email from you and there's typos in it, they're most likely going to delete it. Okay, that's not a way to stand out amongst all the other bloggers that are emailing them. You don't want typos in your email. Also, a tool that I like using is called Grammarly. And that's a good tip too. Always proofread your blog posts and your Instagram posts too. Those are also important with building credibility with your audience, with your readers. So if you want to use Grammarly, I personally use that. I know Anna, who's one of the Style Collective team members, she uses Grammarly as well. I love Grammarly. It's an app. You can install the extension onto your browser, and it will check your grammar for you as you're typing. It is awesome. I love it. I have the paid subscription because it tells me about advanced issues, and my number one issue is that I don't put enough commas throughout my content, and it's always correcting the commas. It's telling me when I overuse a word like awesome or fantastic, and it suggests alternative words for me to use in place of those words that I tend to say or write over and over again. You know what I'm talking about, right? So we're also going to have a cheat sheet on Friday that's going to be coming out. It'll be a printout cheat sheet where it'll explain all the common grammar mistakes and errors, so you can print that out and keep it next to you. That's a free version if you don't want to pay for Grammarly. Grammarly is like, I think it's $75 or $100 a year, but if you want the free version, we have the free version for you coming on Friday, and it's a printout sheet. It's a cheat sheet with all kinds of grammar mistakes and things to look out for and to proofread before you send your email. So if you get confused between your and your, there, and there, so affect and effect, those kinds of words, we have all those tips on that sheet for you to download for free, and that's for Style Collective members. So that's coming on Friday. The other thing with tone, you want to be positive in your communication. Grammarly is not a collab. I just really love using them. But anyways, you want to be positive in your tone. You don't want to come off defensive or negative. You want to avoid words that have like a negative connotation, such as failure or negligence, or any kind of word that has a negative connotation. You want to always put a positive spin on the email, just because the person on the other end, they're not talking to you face in face. They may not understand what you're saying. It can be interpreted any which way, just like if you type in all caps, people interpret that as screaming. If you use I know from working at a global company, I used to use exclamation points in my emails all the time, but the people in Europe interpreted that as me yelling at them. They thought I was mad at them. But me, I'm just like super excited about what I'm writing to them in an email. So you just need to be mindful of the person on the other end and the way that they would receive the tone of your email. Keep it positive. Also keep into the back of your mind like different cultures if you're working with people from other countries, because there's some things that work here in the US that might not work over in other countries as well. All right, number 3. So first was etiquette. Number 2 was spelling, grammar, and tone. Number 3 is composing your email. So this is the really important one for brand deals, okay? Before you hit the new message, you need to think about a couple of things. The first one being, 1, why am I writing this email? What is the point? What is the outcome that I'm hoping to achieve with this email? Okay, and am I clear on my purpose? And am I clear on what I am giving and what I'm getting in exchange? Okay, so working with a brand is a business transaction. You need to be very clear about what you are giving to the brand and what they are giving back to you. It's a business transaction. There's giving and getting, okay? So there's something being traded here. So you need to think about, why am I writing this email? What do I want this person to know who's going to be receiving this email? And then what do I want them to do? So I want them to take action. I want them to work with me. Okay, so what are we going to do when we work together? This is what I'm going to give you, and then this is what you're going to give me in exchange. And that's how you write a really great email. There needs to be a point to it. The other thing too is that you can't go on and on and on. You don't want to tell your whole life story, why you started blogging, why your blog is so great, and your grandma lives in your house with you and she helps you proofread your content. Like, no, nobody's got time for that. Okay, it needs to be to the point. All right, you can either use bullet points. I did that a lot when I worked in corporate because I knew the person on the other end of my emails within my organization. They loved bullet points. And whenever I didn't put bullet points in my email, I got yelled at. So you can do bullet points. Those are really easy to read. Lists are really popular blog posts for a reason, so you can do bullet points. You can do bolded phrases throughout your email. I've received emails from people where there's a paragraph of text and then there's certain phrases that are bolded throughout that text and it pops out on the screen, and I make sure to notice those things that are bolded because they're important. The other thing too is you can have like a mental rule that you do 5-sentence emails. Okay, 5 sentences only, because if you do less than 5, the theory is that if you do less than 5 sentences, you're a little too, it's a little too much to the point and it's kind of like emotionless, like you're a little too abrasive maybe, it's too much brevity. More than 5 sentences can be just overkill though. So you want to be succinct, you want to be to the point. So bullets, bolded letters, around 5 sentences, be very clear on your why, talk about what you're giving and what you're getting out of the partnership, and just stick to those rules. Those will also be in our download on Friday. We have a whole checklist of what to put in an email when you are pitching a brand, when you are writing to anyone an email, okay? So that's a really awesome worksheet that's coming on Friday. That's awesome. That's great that it worked for you when you reached out to InStyle magazine. That's awesome. See, that's the proof. I'm so happy that you shared that. That's awesome. All right, so number 4, managing your inbox. Oh, managing your inbox. I wish that there was an easy tip for this, but okay, so you're either going to go one of 2 ways. So let me know which one is you. The first one, either you cannot handle any unread messages and the notifications just drive you crazy, like the email notification, the text notification, the missed calls notification. So if that's you, like, let me know. Is that you? You cannot handle missed notifications? Or you're the other person where the notifications just pile up. And that is totally me. I will go through my day and I have like 8 unread text messages. I think I have 900 unread emails in my Gmail inbox. I am so bad with notifications. I just don't care because I get in the zone and then everything piles up and it's like hours later and I reply to everyone. I'm like, whatever, I'm time blocking, right? So if you are one of those 2 people, The thing that you want to try to keep in mind is that you don't want to go crazy trying to master your inbox. I have this stat in here that says we spend 1/3 of our time replying to emails, and that's really crazy. So back to the previous point, you want to be really clear and succinct and provide all the necessary information without going on and on and on too much, so that there's not so much back and forth over email, because you really want to be spending less time in your inbox. So the best tip that I have is to schedule certain times of the day to check your email. Time block. We have a link to a really cute cube that Anna found for the post, and it's basically like a cube timer, so you can flip it over if you want to do like 15 minutes of email. It'll set the timer and then it'll buzz and tell you that the 15 minutes is over and it's time to move on. Forget the notifications, you can come back to it later. Another thing that happened to me last week, I emailed someone and I got an auto reply that said, "I'm time blocking and not responding to emails right now. I reply between the hours of blah, blah, blah and blah, blah, blah. So you will hear back from me at that time. In the meantime, you can book an appointment with me, read this blog post, do this, do that," and gave like all these things to do in the meantime, which I thought was a really clever out of reply message for someone who was time blocking their inbox and managing their time. Let's see, what else? Oh, and then millions of email newsletters. That's the reason why I have 800 unread emails in my Gmails, because I have so many newsletters that I subscribe to, and I use this service called Unroll.me. I've unsubscribed from a bunch of newsletters, but I still am on a few, and I probably need to get off of them as well. But you can basically sync it up with your email inbox, and then it'll bring up all the subscriptions that you're subscribed to, and you can unsubscribe from all of them except for the Style Collective email subscription. So it'll automatically just click unsubscribe, and it'll take you off of that email list so that you no longer get spammed. Because sometimes when I hit unsubscribe from an email list, it doesn't actually unsubscribe me. It doesn't work, which is really annoying. But this service, Unroll.me, it works. So all the links we have other books linked in this post for you guys to read if you want to find some other tips about managing email, managing your business, being a little organized, being time efficient, just everything that I talked about with email etiquette, spelling, grammar, and tone, composing your emails, the tips for composing your emails, especially if you're writing to brands, and then managing your inbox. This can all be found in the blog post, links to everything that I talked about, like Grammarly and the timer cube and the Unroll Me service. All of that's in the blog post. And then we have a worksheet that is coming out on Friday that has grammar tips, and then also composing your email, kind of like a framework of what you should follow when putting together an email, so that it's like a formula. Every time you write an email, it's a formula, and it's really easy. Really, really easy. So that's coming on Friday. Do you guys have any questions for me? I'll take questions now. So I'll be back on live next Wednesday. I don't know what I'm going to be talking about. I have to check my schedule. But I'll be back next Wednesday. And then the week after that is actually going to be Tuesday, because I'm moving that week. So I'm going to do it before the moving truck comes on Wednesday. All right, next week is all about, blogging income. Income breakdown, talking about your blogging goals and income goals and how to keep track of it and how to break it down. Oh, I love this one because I am a numbers girl. I was a math major and I taught math for 2 years, so anything with numbers, I'm all over that. So yeah, income breakdown is next Wednesday. What was the tool called to send emails later instead of middle of the night? That one was called, I should know this off the top of my head, Boomerang. That was called Boomerang. Would you say that these tips work for Fashion Week? Yes, absolutely. I definitely think they would. Reaching out to brands and agencies? Yes, I think so. Oh, my screen got messed up. I can't see what you guys are writing now. I can only see one thing at a time. I just saw wow. Wow. Yeah, we're talking about email. Wow. I don't know. We are talking about email. We're not talking about anyone being beautiful. We're talking about email, okay? So, because my Instagram is broken now and I can't read anyone's comments except for the spammy person, I am going to end this. And I will see you ladies next Wednesday. If you have any special requests for topics, just send a DM. You can email me anytime. Let's see, what is that service that Blogger uses for that auto reply? Oh, it doesn't auto reply. If you have Outlook or mail, you can just set up auto replies to send during a specific time of day. Yeah, just like a regular, kind of like an out of office kind of thing. Yeah, out of office that's set to a specific time. Cool. Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in for another Instagram Live. I love doing these with you guys. I think it's kind of like my way of being a teacher again, but talking about things that are a little more relevant than equations and all that kind of stuff. So I will see you all next Wednesday at 8 o'clock, and we will talk about blogging income, setting goals, and all that kind of good stuff that has to do with numbers, which I love. So again, thank you for tuning in, and I will see you guys later. Bye. Have a great evening, guys.